I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't think they were going to do the matchmaking talk. Genuinely. I genuinely didn't. But the amount of bold-faced lying and half-truths that are in this is absolutely insane. So much so that I don't even want to give genuine commentary to their responses. I genuinely just want to quote patents for this because it proves them wrong in their entirety with their own verbiage and their own systems. So the first pillar they talk about, connection. As the community will attest, ping is king. Connection is the most critical and heavily weighted factor in the matchmaking process. That's a bold-faced lie, as the dynamic player weights patent states differently. Scoring Engine 122 may also tune one or more coefficients based on system requirements unrelated to user preferences or game design. For example, Scoring Engine 122 may determine a measure that a load on a given server that offers minimal latency compared to other servers needs to be reduced and load balanced onto a server with greater latency. In this scenario, Scoring Engine 122 may adjust the coefficient related to the latency match variable so that latency is disregarded or its importance in generating a match score, so a predetermined match score, is diminished for potential matches that would have been hosted by the given server. In another example, Scoring Engine 122 may determine that a given server is associated with a higher network cost and should be avoided. Scoring Engine 122 may adjust coefficients for match variables that may affect whether a potential match will play on a given server in order to minimize or eliminate matches that will use the given server. The second pillar they talk about is time to match. This factor is the second most critical to the matchmaking process. We all want to spend time playing the game rather than waiting for matches to start. Now, Nero Cinema had a perfect video showing how this is absolutely false.
We're starting off here with COD 4, and we're going to be simply just searching for a game of Team Deathmatch. Here we go. We press start on both of them at the exact same time, and we're going to be switching games whenever one game gets into an actual lobby. We have Modern Warfare 2 there in the very middle. As you can see, we're into a match in COD 4. Time to boot up World at War. We're still searching here on Modern Warfare 2. We've already gotten to a COD 4 match. Whoop, we're in a World at War match. Let's jump into Black Ops 1. Let's see how long it's going to take Black Ops 1 to find us a match right here. Trying to join 4 potential matches. This one's actually taking a while. Modern Warfare 2 may actually catch up. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. This is taking uncharacteristically forever, and we're in a match right there for Black Ops 1. Let's jump into Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2, of course, being the big fan favorite. Everyone loves it. We're still searching over there in Modern Warfare 2. We're into a Black Ops 2 match. Here we are in Modern Warfare 3. I did these games in no particular order. It's just like what discs I had right next to my Xbox at the time. But Modern Warfare 3, gotta love that menu music. And here we are. We're in a Modern Warfare 3 match. And now we're going into Call of Duty Ghosts. Let's see if we can get into a game of Team Deathmatch here in COD Ghosts. All of this in the time it takes to play one game of Modern Warfare 2. The game that came out in 2022, the most current, up-to-date COD. And as you can see, we're already into a game of Call of Duty Ghosts. Right about the same time we get into a match of Modern Warfare 2. I was able to get into 6 different games across 6 different COD titles, all in the amount of time that it took for them to actually find the perfect skill-based matchmaking lobby for me to play within Modern Warfare 2.
The dynamic player weights patent also states, in yet another example, a player may value a better match over shorter wait times. The player may therefore tune a coefficient related to wait times to be low or 0, so that wait times are not weighted heavily or at all when generating potential matches for the player. We can't tune that as players, but the artificial intelligence system that is profiling you on your computing systems running the game can. The third pillar they have, which is made up of a bunch of sub-pillars, the first part of it being playlist diversity, the number of playlists available for players to choose from. The way they curate matchmaking playlists isn't for the sake of playlist diversity, it's for the sake of engagement. According to the dynamic player weights patent, Analytics and Feedback Engine 124 may generate a game profile for a gameplay session based on gameplay information which may be monitored and otherwise obtained by Analytics and Feedback Engine 124. Gameplay information may describe various game characteristics of a gameplay session that may influence the quality of gameplay. For example, gameplay information may include, without limitation, a number of players, types of roles, e.g., snipers, types of in game items used or purchased, e.g., weapons, vehicles, armor, custom suits, custom paint, tires, engine modifications, etc. Composition of teams or clans, e.g., number and or types of roles in each clan, maps and or game levels played, e.g., battle zones, racetracks, sporting arenas, etc. Duration of gameplay, e.g., how duration of a given gameplay session, player skill levels, player styles, e.g., aggressive, prefers to be a sniper, etc., and or other information related to the gameplay session. This is also stated in multiple of their patents, by the way, almost any of them that require them to modify your player profile. So, I need to take a small tangent here to a section further down in this blog post that is labeled Measuring Skill for Matchmaking. And I want to quote the matchmaking blog here in this case because this is some of the most blatant gaslighting I've ever seen from the people who make this game towards the people who consume their product. Call of Duty has historically considered player performance, among other factors, as part of our matchmaking process. Our work in this area dates back as early as Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 2007. Skill is implemented across the video game industry, and we recognize that continuous refinement is required to deliver the best possible experience for our players. This is some of the most blatant lying I think I've ever seen from a company like this. Back in Call of Duty 4, on computer, we didn't have matchmaking. We had a dedicated server browser. That dedicated server browser let me, the user, pick what server I wanted to connect to, which showed me what map, how many players, how many bots of them were not actual players because of custom servers. Could easily, if I wanted to, go look up the server name and see if the server had magical rules. Who knows? Because in Call of Duty, for some reason on the computer and dedicated servers, everyone likes crouch servers for some reason. Whoever thought about crouch servers, no, I'm sorry. Go play Rising Storm, go play Hell Let Loose. If you want to go crouch for a whole game and run or not run, go play those games. COD is an arcade shooter and always has been. I should be able to run around and jump my corner while being able to camera a player and not have my game either be rigged or have it to where special rules dictate that I can't play that way, which the rigging also is. But credit where credit's due. That blog post, they had a small part of it where they were right. There was some sort of matchmaking in COD 4 on the console. On console, you guys had matchmaking. We didn't get any sort of matchmaking until Modern Warfare 2 2009 on the computer, which coincidentally enough is also the first time anywhere on the internet it was stated that Activision was working on software that ruined the idea of fair gaming. And it was small research. Actually, I'll even put it up on screen right here. You can go look at it yourself. And now we have patents that state the same exact thing. So I guess what it really comes down to is Activision needs to be transparent on whether or not these systems are in the game, or else the game will likely get torn apart by people who think otherwise. I'm not the type of person to go throw the game into an x64 debugger and go look at every single running piece of code. If someone ever shows me pieces of code from an x64 debugger like that, I'm inclined to want to look at it, but I will never, ever, ever go look at it myself. I don't want to take the time to do that. I shouldn't have to take the time to do that. I should just be able to play the game that I want to play. I mean, truly, too, you don't even have to throw the game to an x64 debugger. All you got to do is read the patents and then also read the privacy policy. They blatantly state they tailor your experience for each individual player on a player by player basis, all for the sake of targeted advertising of the user. So I guess what it really comes down to is players actually just need to stop playing, or they need to uninstall this off the computer that they have it on or the console that they have it on. Or you know what? If they've got your money and you're happy playing it, keep playing it. Just don't spend money on skins and don't buy the next game. Keep playing what you have. Just don't buy skins. Don't contribute to this company's bottom line, or else they're just going to keep spitting in your face like they did with this matchmaking post. Anyway, I think this has really gone on long enough in terms of a video, so I'm kind of just going to rapid fire the end here with their community questions that they want to address, because as much as roasting this company is fun and roasting the people who still buy bundles, this has just become so sad at this point that it if it truly is going to spread throughout gaming, if this tailored experience is going to spread throughout all portions of major AAA publishers like it already has, we're not going to have a real game unless it's from an indie company like Power World. Fucking Power World, bro. That, that's still crazy to me. I love that game. Anyway, first community question they have: does Call of Duty consider player engagement, time played, as a factor in matchmaking? We do not consider how often or how much you play when determining matchmaking. That's also a lie. From the same patent quote I said earlier about analytics and feedback engine to generate a player profile with your gameplay information, it states in its examples that duration of gameplay, or the example being how duration of a given gameplay session is their EG example in the patents, they definitely consider exactly how long you're in the game for in terms of engagement and to keep you on longer or to guide you to the store. They do that. So they're lying to you there. Next question: does the Call of Duty matchmaking process impact any in game elements such as hit registration, player visibility, aim assist, damage, etc.? No, our matchmaking process does not impact gameplay elements. This is the most blatant half truth of the whole thing. They are partially right. Their matchmaking service does not determine your hit registration. The AI rigging the game and profiling each user as each user is playing the game, that's what changes your hit registration, the player visibility, the LOD of the map, your aim assist, the damage to another player, what players you see in your storyline, because certain storylines are always going to be ranked and weighed higher since, bundles exist, because they want to really cater to those in-game items, if you know what I mean. Oof. So, yes, that is blatantly a lie, especially because the Team Coop patent even states itself that player adjustments such as health and damage can be made in real time during a gaming session on a player by player basis. Again, I digress. It's not the matchmaking people. There is AI software rigging your games. Next question: does spending money on Call of Duty content such as bundles, Battle Pass, or Black Cell change how players are matched? Money spent does not in any way, shape, or form factor into matchmaking. Again, this is just such a blatant lie, because that same quote from the dynamic player weights patent complementing how they generate your game profile for your gameplay session, they literally state types of in-game items used or purchased. Not even just purchased, used. So if one day you decide to go use a new bundle and then 4 days later you roll back to an even older bundle, depending on how much they want to advertise that bundle that you changed to other players, that will change the weight in which those in-game items are used or purchased are weighted in your matchmaking. Yeah. So again, they factor in microtransactions, people. And if you really don't think so, you should go look at the microtransaction patent where they state they factor your psychological state into the matchmaking process. One of the last questions, or I believe this is the last question. No, this is the second to last question. Does Call of Duty use bots in multiplayer matchmaking? Call of Duty multiplayer does not use bots as a part of the general matchmaking process. If this changes in the future, we will inform the community. Well, they did make this change and they didn't inform the community because the systems and methods for transparently styling non-player characters in a multiplayer video game states otherwise. That patent states a system and method are provided for transparently styling non-player characters, NPCs, in multiplayer video games such that it is difficult to distinguish between human players and computer-controlled NPCs. NPCs may be styled to resemble human players in terms of both player profile attributes and gameplay actions, such that the players may not recognize NPCs as non-human, computer-controlled players. Additionally, or alternatively, NPCs or human players may be presented with a limited set of profile attributes that may reduce or eliminate the ability to distinguish between human players and NPCs. One or more profile attributes may be anonymized, and or the ability to view player profiles of human players and or NPCs may be disabled altogether. In certain gameplay sessions, including real and or practice gameplay sessions, human players may be prompted to select from among a predetermined set of playable characters having predefined profile attributes. And it also continues to state that by contrast, if a determination is made that available slots will be filled with NPCs, an NPC management engine may select or generate NPCs to fill those slots. For instance, in some implementations, the NPC management engine may select and retrieve one or more NPCs from among a collection of pre-generated NPCs stored. For instance, in a database, alternatively, the NPC management engine may generate one or more NPCs in real time, in quotes, on the fly, when one or more gaps in a gameplay session are identified. So that means they are using your player profiles in order to make bots of them and fill them into lobbies for other players. Does anyone still think this game is a real experience? But I guess that's really all I wanted to talk about when it comes to the matchmaking talk that they did. Because that matchmaking talk wasn't a talk. It was mainly just lies thrown at the consumer's face to keep them feeding into the bottom line. And I know this game won't change. As long as people keep fueling the bottom line, nothing's going to change with this game. And all I wanted to do was play COD. And I don't even get to play COD anymore. The game's decided I can't play COD anymore. You know what? Shit, I'll even touch onto this. How I know that this system is artificial intelligence, it's actually publicly available to everyone as long as you go read the patents. You can go to the citations for either team cooperation or the microtransaction patent, and you can read this one. It's called Method for Aligning Demonstrated User Actions with Existing Documentation. This patent, in all their old versions, like for team cooperation and the microtransaction patent, those old two patents, at least their old versions of them, used to say this system was owned by IBM. Now it is owned by Activision themselves. This is their software now. And if you go to the citations, all the family to family citations at the bottom, almost all of them are the Activision systems that would rig the game. You have the 2D to 3D face patent. You've got the transparently styling non-player characters patents for the bots. You have the soft reservation patent. You've got all of the patents that would say, yes, we rig our game for engagement and for monetization. All of them. And the citations of this one patent. And if you really, by the end of this, you still don't think this is possible or that this technology isn't immoral or illegal in any way, I would like to implore this question to you. How fundamentally different is this software from the AI profiling and targeted advertising to you on your phone, to your YouTube ads, or any other sort of cookied information that your phone has? Because fundamentally, it's not much different. The only case is in Activision's stance. We paid for a product that was advertised to be a multiplayer experience. And instead, it is a tailored AI experience to force feed your dopamine addictions of playing Call of Duty. That doesn't sound like a video game. I think that's pretty much it, though. If you got to the end of this and you realize that the game literally isn't a game, or if you've just come to that realization, nice. Congrats. Hopefully it'll get you to uninstall that remote access Trojan that's sitting on your computer that you'll never be able to get rid of without reformatting all of Windows. But otherwise, I think that's about it. Have a good day if you got this far. If you actually no, if you got this far, put in the comments, have a good day to other people. Because as shitty as these systems are, the gaslighting of the company should not be spreading to its player base like this. And it has for over 5 years. And it needs to stop.